right, here's our second part of example 2. They're asking us to do the same thing. They're going to give us a few angle measures, want us to use what we know about our lovely corresponding alternate interior, exterior, and consecutive interior angles to solve for the missing angles. So I'm going to go ahead and mark on the diagram here the information they gave me. They told me that measure of angle 7 here is 38 degrees. 38 degrees right there. So we're going to go ahead and write that down. They've also told us, let's do this one in red, that measure of angle 10. So up here is 102 degrees. And let's look at a few other things. Let's look at which lines are parallel. It's kind of easy just to tell from looking at it, but they did give us those lovely arrow marks right there. So those are our parallel lines. Notice here that there's two transversals. So kind of, if you can, I wish I could cover up my screen, but I can't. But we're going to kind of just look at one transversal at a time. Okay, so in fact, let's go ahead and do that. We're just going to look at this lovely transversal. Ignore that angle 7 for right now. We're just going to fill in everything that we know about this top one. Again, remember, if we've got that lovely transversal, we know vertical angles are congruent. So we've got a 102, alternate interior. 2 and 10 are also corresponding, so you can look up here and say corresponding or congruent. Or you could just look at them and say they're both obtuse, so they must both be 102. And here's another 102 there for the angle number 4. All right, now remember that 10 and 11, these are a linear pair right there. So they're going to add to our 180. So that means 11's got to be 78 degrees, which means we could also fill in 9, 3, and 1. Oops, 78 degrees right there. Okay, so we've got a lot of those angles just from that first transversal. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put those on my paper before we even look at the other one. We have angle 1 right here. Angle 1 was my 78 degrees. Angle 2 was 102 degrees. Angle 3 was 78 degrees. Angle 4 was 102 degrees. Then we know 9 was 78 degrees. 10 was 102 degrees. It's already there. 11 is 78 degrees. And then measure of angle 12 is 102 degrees. All right, now let's look at our other transversal. Let's make this one green. So we got a nice little transversal right here. This time we're going to ignore all those numbers that we just did up in the top half. We're going to use our 38 down here, angle 7, to fill in the rest of the values. So 5 right there, vertical angles, that's also going to be 38. 13 would be an alternate interior angle to angle 7. So again, alternate interior angles are congruent. And 15 would also be 38 degrees. Okay, so 38 degrees for 15, for 13, for 7, which they already gave us, and for 5, 38 degrees. Okay, and then our last ones, we're going to look over here, and we're going to say, okay, well, these have got to add to our 180. So 180 subtract our 38 is 142. 142, that means 8 and 6 are both 142. 16 is also going to be 142. And 14 is 142. So 142 gets all these last links right here. All right.